immigrants, one quarter, of them. Most of the PhDs are immigrants. That's one of the reasons, the Silicon Valley and all this wants to keep them. Now, overall, why do immigrants come? Some of them come because of the conditions in their countries. Some of them are professionals, who've been, granted some visas, employment visas to be here. Some of them came also because of civil strife. For example, I mentioned the El Salvadorians. The Nicaraguans were also given waivers, to come here when there was strife in the country between the Sandinistas, and the United States government. A lot of them were given visas to come here. When there was problem in Vietnam, when the Saigon government fell, hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese were given visas to come to the United States. When Saddam Hussein was overthrown, hundreds of thousands of Kurds, were given visas to come here also. And in fact, Nashville has the largest number of Kurds in the whole United States. You have about 11,000 Kurds who are resettled here in Nashville, Tennessee. That's why they call Nashville the little Kurdistan.
Kurdistan.
Or the southern Kurdistan of the United States, because this is where you have the largest number. When there was strife in Somalia, after the overthrow of President Siad Barre, a lot of Somalis were given, visas to come to this country. That's why you have about 5,000 Somalis who are settled here in Nashville, Tennessee. People don't know that. This is one of the largest Somali, community in the country. When there was strife in Sudan, the Southern Sudanese, the State Department also gave them a lot of visas to resettle here in the United States. About 2,500 of them were resettled here. When there was strife in Ethiopia, when Mengistu's government was overthrown and there was civil war, a lot of thousands of Ethiopians also given visas to come to the United States and stay. A lot of them ended up here in Nashville. Same from Uganda, same from Tanzania. Then in Asia, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, they all have agreements to a number of refugees or legal immigrants, every year to the United States. Now the problem we are having is that a lot of, those that the government wants to send back, to their countries have been here for long, established and all that, which is the 11 million we're talking about. But at the same time, this 11 million contribute a whole lot of money to the United States economy. And most of their employers actually want them to stay, because without those workers, those companies will fold. You've seen a lot of companies shutting down here and there, before. Yeah, when a lot of when the deportation rate, was spiking up, a lot of them started going back, to Mexico or to Nicaragua, where they came from, until they stopped again and they started coming back. See, so a lot of businesses, particularly the housing business, agriculture business, they need them, because some of the jobs they do, most people won't do it for the price that the employers are willing to pay. Now if an employer is willing to pay somebody $4 an hour to dig ditches on the road, most Americans would accept that, that kind of money for anything. How much more digging, ditches on the road? So when you have those people send them back, that employer loses a lot of money, and what happens? The company folds up. And you know that most businesses in this country are created by small businesses, who are 10, 20, 30 people, 50 people here and there. And most of those small businesses need this kind of workers because the wages are not high. They don't have to pay social security and all this. They just pay them.
And sometimes it's pay them in cash and forget the whole thing. No tax records or no kind of records. And that's now, is that a real